Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. So I do have to start this video with some sad news, unfortunately, and some of you might already be aware of this, but Logan Williams, who did play young Barry Allen on The Flash in the first couple of seasons of The Flash, did unfortunately pass away on Thursday this week. He was only 16 years of age and was soon to be 17. It's always sad to see someone lose their life, but when they are at such a young age, an age that some of you might be at or around, is just tragic, especially because he had such a bright career ahead of him. Logan played an important role in the show's history as a vital part in the origin of the Barry Allen character we know and love on the show today. So while it is a super sad time for his family and friends at this current moment, we can thank Logan for the part he played in making our lives a bit brighter and happier with his role on The Flash and playing that young version of Barry Allen. So rest in peace, Logan. You'll be missed. So we are still in that break between episodes 15 and 16 of The Flash for this season due to the much longer than expected break due to the delay in production, which then led to delay in episodes being released. But April 21st is fastly, or I wrote vastly in my notes, but it's fastly approaching. Less than 3 weeks away until Barry Allen and his party posse, if you want to call it, are back on our screens. But of course, the story arc that is currently in limbo as we wait for the episodes to return is that of the storyline revolving around Barry Allen creating a new Speed Force for himself and potentially other speedsters like Wally West, for example. And this is of course due to the original Speed Force being destroyed following Spectre unlocking Barry's full potential in the Crisis crossover event, and in turn, killing the Speed Force pretty much. Or at least poisoning it and then it slowly died. I don't know, one of the two. Now the Speed Force has a lot of different uses and abilities that are given to those connected to it, but that was the Speed Force that we had. It's not the one we currently have. So seeing that it was destroyed and we're going to be giving a new one, well, presumably we are. There could be, a random twist where the old one is healed for some reason, but from what we are led to believe, a completely new one is going to be made. But due to that, we could see some changes in regards to what it can and cannot let you do. And that is what we will be going over in this video for the most part. So of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various opinions in the comment section down below. How do you think the new Speed Force is going to work? What new things would you like included in it, and which things would you like maybe taken out from what the old Speed Force could do? Do you want the new Speed Force to be able to make you popcorn when you want it or something? Let me know what you want the new Speed Force to do, or let Barry and stuff do. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you just want to show your support and you're excited for what's coming, why not drop a like on the video to do both of those things? It takes 2 seconds. Helps the channel. So the first thing I could see go down with this new Speed Force that Barry is looking to create, of course with the help of Nora's journal, is that of time travel. I think creatively it could or would be a good choice to make it that this new Speed Force doesn't allow Barry or any other speedster connected to it to time travel at will with just themselves. Go, okay, I'm going to time travel and then zoom off and they do it. It would be cool if a device was needed in tandem with the powers of the Speed Force to actually travel through time. So of course I'm referring to something like the cosmic treadmill. Now, I'm not saying I want the ability to time travel solely by the speedster and Speed Force to just be forgotten and not exist. I love the time travel aspect of the show. It's one of the coolest things on the show. It allows us to have some really cool moments on the show. Some of the best episodes in the show have involved time travel in some way, shape or form. But it does rule out one thing that a lot of people point out as a solution for a lot of problems that Barry faces, and that is of course, why didn't he time travel to stop this, or get this, or do this, etc. I personally don't think we will be seeing too much time travel to the past going forward by Barry in the seasons to come, but future time travel is something I could definitely see, whether it's 5 years in the future or going to the year 3000 or something like that. So a cosmic treadmill being used to do that, and that being the only time he does, use the time travel ability, is something I would be all for. It'd just be pretty much comic book greatness with the cosmic treadmill and everything. Obviously, there's been little references to the cosmic treadmill in different episodes and seasons, but just getting a legitimate one for that purpose I think would be pretty cool. Now next up we have something that we know will still be a part of the Arrowverse and something that the Flash will help connect Earth Prime to going forward, and that is of course the multiverse. But with this new Speed Force we might see multiverse travel become harder to do or a bit trickier to do. Now, I think this is less likely to happen than, say, the time travel side of things, where you would need a device such as, the cosmic treadmill or the cosmic rollerblades or the cosmic fidget spinner or whatever it might be. They easily could make it just much more difficult to travel the multiverse once Earth Primes are able to read it and know what's out there, by making it that like a breach opening device of sorts is like needed for Barry to travel, like we've seen in the past when like we first discovered the multiverse. They could do something like that, and then using Barry's speed, that's what allows him to go through it. But unlike the time travel side of things, the multiverse is never really used as like an excuse for story elements, or is seen as like a plot hole for some when they don't use it. The only time I can ever really remember that, I'm sure there are some other times, but this is the one I can specifically note at this time, when like they're not using the multiverse and it doesn't make sense, and it was just like confusing as to why the characters didn't use it, was when they didn't put Cicada's dagger onto like a dead Earth or just another random Earth in general in last season of The Flash, and instead sent it to space. Like they breached it to space, where Cicada was just able to retrieve it again. It would have been easier to just put it on another random Earth and would have been secured there, where we know Cicada wouldn't have been able to get to it. So multiverse travel could be affected, but I don't think it needs to. And as we know, there are already plans to have Stargirl crossover with The Flash, and we need multiverse travel to, be working properly around that. So maybe Barry will have a new learning curve when this new Speed Force comes around, in regards to coordinating himself around the multiverse, how to access or tap into it, and various things like that. Like it could just be like a new mini arc for him, and it could allow us to explore it in a very quick manner. But I don't see it going for good. I think you're cutting off a lot of things to just not allow like a speedster, or specifically Barry, to travel the multiverse, and forcing it, okay, like only this one device can do it. The Flash is a very multiversal based character. I think you still have to allow him to do it, but maybe they can just add a new learning curve with this new Speed Force, with all of it as well. Now, one thing I would like to see, I think it'd be unlikely. I think you're more likely to see it with like a guest speedster, like someone like Wally, or maybe even Jay Garrick, or whatever guest speedster might show up. With Barry, it might be hard to do like consecutively through multiple episodes. But then again, we hardly ever see the Flash thing. I think we've seen it 2 or 3 times, so they could do the exact same thing with this. And that's make it that this new Speed Force allows, well, let's just say Barry for example, but any of them, to materialize the Flash suit or their speedster suit from the Speed Force. So their actual suit is made from the Speed Force. I think that'd be very, very cool. As I said, I think it's more likely to happen with a guest speedster, like a Wally West or something like that, rather than Barry, because he'd be putting it on all the time, while a guest speedster would be there for one episode. So it's much easier to just have a cool sequence where it happens once for them, but then for Barry, he's still using the Flash ring. But I think that's a really cool thing that I would love to see, because it's something that we haven't seen yet on the show. So please give it to us in some way, shape, or form, whether it's Barry, or Wally, or another guest speedster. Now, this is something that a lot of people have been asking me, and I think this is actually fairly interesting. Now, it really only, I think, is being mentioned because of what's going on with Black Hole this season, and like the story's connection to the early parts of DC Rebirth and the comics from a couple of years ago, and that's whether creating this new Speed Force leads to a new Speed Force Storm. Obviously, we had the Speed Force Storm at the end of Season 3, which really led nowhere. It really led nowhere. Like, it was sort of pointless having it outside of like causing a reason for Barry to go into the Speed Force. It would be very cool if, making this new Speed Force did lead to something like this, where it creates new speedsters potentially, or people that were hit by the lightning, which would pretty much make them speedsters anyway, or it potentially leads to like a black hole connection, and something to do with them using the Speed Force as a power source, or them maybe hunting down those speedsters that were hit with the lightning and stuff like that, and using them as like a power source, or just some sort of source for making weaponry and stuff like that. That would be very cool. I guess the big question is whether it's too late in the season to do that. But I think, like, the rule of thumb, sometimes it can never be too late unless you're doing it in like the last episode. If they do it like before you get into those last 3 episodes, then I think it's fine as long as the pacing is done well. But it's something that I think would be fairly cool if they do that, because it is pretty much what happened in the comics. The whole Speed Force Storm and leading into Black Hole, or at least the connection there. We know Godspeed's in episode 18 as well, so there could be various connections there. Maybe that's the thing that creates Godspeed and Earth Prime. Maybe that stuff in episode 1 didn't even happen. This is completely different. So that's a possibility. It matters how big they want to go with it. whether like there has to be this big scientific experiment with the Speed Force storm, or it's something really small. Like this new Speed Force that Barry makes is more of like an internalized power source, if that makes sense, rather than this like, you know, cosmic, or not cosmic thing, but you know, there's like big energy, different like sort of like dimension, if you want to call it, or existence. I think it depends which way they want to go. So it's sort of like a watch this space, but that's a good theory. I think like maybe that makes a new Speed Force storm, but as I said, we have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah guys, that's pretty much all to do with this video, and that's all really to go over. If you enjoyed it, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know your various opinions in the comments section down below. Do you have any different theories in regards to what this new Speed Force could do, what it might change, what it might just leave the same? Let me know your various opinions in the comments section down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Goodbye.